Jason Nsem Jumadie ena Owusu a utie no na mene empejifo bi bedin komo e wo hasen eno no eye corruption watch na ene asema ye beka no eye right to information unse ye wo RTI emra e wo ho aseme pa manebo bia e ho na mekọ na mede akodan wo na magesa amanebo no na e kamne ese sika nke wo se utua ebra wo pa manebo bi se wo pa free easy ho ana wo pa free bia Registrar of Companies ana se metu ho no sika ye gi won ya na ano eden na a simple pen eso bi ko easy ho krompa wo so wo kwa akwaje eye amanebo e ba no amanyuko ahodo ene ekwan a wo mo efa so mo sika sem e ho hyehye ye etie no na easy etumi hwe wanim so wo charge over 9,000 Ghana cedis ansa na samanebo no de ama ho e no krompo ena nchen etumi ba se bia wakomati ho wo se eye eba no ensuo sem ewiem sakraye ne ho amanebo the data ope yetumi charge over 14,000 Ghana cedis e ma no eye den esanse emra e wo no ma RTI ebochidom ena emra e wo no ntia se emra no ye kekabom na ye dibi afre binom na ye charge ebo a eni se eba no sa eno no bro ne beka se conflict of laws inti emra na e wo ni nyina no we susu so de we be adwuma we susu de we be adwuma be ko wi akire no na ye bomra no so inti na ye bedi ho nkomo na ye hwese RTI adwumadie same ko jama ne bo sika hin na wo semitua emra be na ye adwuma e wo sa ye information na me ko je no anase office na me di mama ne bo e ko no inti no e na me ni nyina ye beji ho nimde na corruption watch e wo ha say kai say European Union ene eye wo mo partners ena kaboma what corruption watch achi ye wa Ghana Center for Democratic Development ye CDD Ghana, Transparency International Ghana, ena Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition, Africa Center for International Law and Accountability, ena media platforms Adom FM ena Joy FM yenso yedimo akotene pa na yenkobo die no manya emrantie okay random you know have a kadisa eti ora Steven Owusu a lawyer for RTI Commission no ye pass so wa say na yera Frederick Asiamah ono oye investigative journalist a one corruption watch na ye adwuma nti yera Asiamah de na bonko several times e wo hanom san hwehwemu ahodo mo ye ene de omo de beto dwa nyina na ye di ho enkomo nti omo na ye ne omo anasa meniom ebedi nkomo na won so wasua bibi na mene Fred ebe hyase Frederick Asiamah Matien
ya me de
oh ye
nyame adumu na won so e
nyame adum adwuma na ekosen
erade adum yegusu kakaka okokra yemu
e bibia be fine yeah ora Steven Owusu so ha cancel Matien
abna mejo so
bokode
nyame adum na won so e
adum nti me ho ye pa Madam say any adaji amonya edi amaye pa na de nti a mehase e wo Fred hodom no ene so bema ye hunu ye kase corruption watch ene omudwumadi a yenim se ehwehwemu de omo eye bi pa na omo experience with RTI ena me pese Fred esema yen na ayenyina so a ye ne lawyer ebedi community Fred adwuma wo ye ene information hodo aya wo pe no experience no etisen with RTI
yo me da se abna ma men komechi kakra na men ka se RTI no commission adwuma omudi no yen ehia pa in fact ansana emra cry the RTI commission bae no na corruption watch e de ho age de broni be kana advocacy emu ama abra na parliament edi emra no ho abobo ni ade nyina na yedi mu akotene pa ye de impenifo bebre e ba corruption watch e mo be kan ho asem commission no so e share na adwuma ase no ye ka hu bi na omo ba radio so for very first time
okay
nti ye de ani edi omo adwuma no achi ye na eduru bi ye pese ye hu se de emra no ye de ye adwuma fa ene se de aban nwumaku ahoro edi emra no so fa enu si ye di kan eye nhwehwemu ene ye hu se o se bebre na kra na emra no mubu so ama commission no mo fine afi investigations bebre ayeye no eto de bia na wo hia information na esan se RTI law no wo ho ni emra no ma ho kwan se wo hia information bia utimi ye application na de koma public institution information one nche na all the information ma enumu na yeni na mu na yakọ institution bi te say Electoral Commission.
Okay.
Yakọ ORC. Yakọ Ministry of Health. Yakọ Food and Drugs Authority. Yakọ bebre audit service. In fact, mebo audit service abaso.
Okay.
So put the nano year information bi omode maye. CD crowd manye.
Mantua she.
Omo edi information in maye. Na ba kwa yenya hu problem. Sesia eye Electoral Commission.
Okay.
No me ya mu na me tro koma Electoral Commission. Say me pay information ewo political parties no. Say mrana kire say afibia say political parties no mo dey friend no audited account. E koma Electoral Commission. Nti me ni mu na me tro ko say me pay information ewo audited account na mo dey aba no.
Okay.
In fact na me pay copies. Na commission ni tro bre me June no mu. June ya shasi ya no mo tro by I think on the 5th or something. No mo de ba say o mo saka me letter no. Information ni de o mo de be ma me. Na ansa no mo de be ma me no. Mintabri 9,250 Ghana cedi.
Wow.
Connected no. Ya quantity sikan dia na
92 million.
92 million. Me famra ansa na mo de information na. In fact, o mo ma me details scratch say me nko tua nto o account mu. O account a ewo Bank of Ghana. Me nko tua scan nto mu ansa na maba. Na me mfa payment we no emra mekre. Na afi o mo ma me o mo processing information ma me.
Information you entitled to.
Exactly. And information ewo o mo nchen dada. Nti na wo hwe emra no mu pa de ananka information they are only reproducing. Because omukranya fake crown or mukwakoye research and information. We information political parties now are generating no their bro. Enti no omo reproduce. In fact, omo ye photocopy. Meanwhile no yenti ase wo mra no ni sese emra no mu krapo no fees na e wo ho. A4 sheet ya ye de ye letter ni ya ukoye photocopy ya de ye mawi. Se omo ye ba akoma wo ana say nru paper na baako crowd e fan say paper na baako ese so mo je 38 pesos na che say 20 pesos mi no aya obi de be ma bofra kra enru entin kanu na ese say omo je yen na omo calculating number of pages na no mo de a charge we ni de no an so omo ka che say under Political Parties Act no yes obi pay information na ese say commission monetary fees and based on that no Yamra Metia 9,250.
This is no Political Parties Act no bro RTI emra so.
Sana mo pache.
Okay.
Na omukrapo omasem ne da nchen a. Ba ku bie mu ho Registrar of Companies. Okona okoye ope ochro say journalist under RTI ti ope e bia wo investigation bi na ope so hu company bi ne background bi na shareholders ne ada. Okọ mo se kone kutua omo applicable search fee. And on the CIM say 30 cedis per company. Enti emfa ho ni the number of pages on be generate amount. Say you 2 pages, say you 3 pages information on the amount. Obe say utia 30 cedis for company ba ko bia akwakoye open information. Ena abranche bi so enim na efe no Steven Tinkran. New website bi aba fofora omo friend the treasure ono ni editor ewo. Omo pay information omo si o on person hu data on weather any rainfall so do ko ato Ghana emre dudu bi ntem na mo call Ghana Meteorological Agency ho omo chiro mo say omo be mo information na mo just omo betua 10,400 nti abrante ni bisa omo say na information na mo de ma me no anya bia ne dodo yes pages dodo omo say o 7 pages word
7 pages
word 7 pages
and over 10,000 Ghana
Excel sheet account omo na metua 10,400.
Wow.
No obisa say na omo basis ni say omo say o Fees and Charges Act and mo hu kan mo charge we but same Fees and Charges Act no mo kan so very clear I set out fees as say utia for RTI requests ɛno na meka sɛ yɛ print out ana sɛ photocopy 38 pesos ɛna ɛsɛ sɛ yɛ video ana bibia no deɛ ne boɔ wɔ soro kakra ɛm sɛ bi kora yɛ 3 cedis ɛno sɛ bia video bi te sɛ woyɛ wo show na maba na me sɛ yɛ transcription of wo show ne ma me a ɛno no mu ne boɔ no wɔ soro kakra but deɛ ɛyɛ paper wo print ana sɛ woyɛ photocopy nka sɛ yɛ 38 pesos per page ɛno na yɛ sɛ wei deɛ ɛboro yɛ so yɛbɛma amanfoɔ nyinaa te bi na obiara de n'ani ɔtum na Electoral Commission ne ɔmo maka nyinaa no deɛ mmara no hyehyɛ sɛ yɛn nyinaa yɛnyɛ no ɔmo nso ɔmo nhwɛ na ɔmo ni so.
Okay. Beda sepa Fred ɛne kyesɛ nti no ne kyesɛ RTI information sɛ ne yɛ ton information no as osika nso a untumi ntɔ
woyɛ hiani ba
just untumi ntɔ bi
o ma me wa friend place instead me ma me
untumi ntɔ that is the reality now me one say RTI aba nti obi enu so koya wo kɔji information but sika mu 10,000 14,000 9,000 etachiri na the obeji information sky na den account so what is here na me de say RTI ho na kasa wo mo lawyer e wo ha to obeboa yen masem be say dikan council and say EC ORC aye Registrar of Companies ena GMET demand ya wo demand say ensem tro for me to assess kai and sana information mo pe mo nya no ne kwanso no
abna me das na me chia watie phone so ma me sha se emfiri se wo ba Right to Information Act na sia ede de pefe se information yenton ti yenya santi ase no
okay
enti se wo call section 75 of emrana eno ne ka fees section 75(1) no e de akwanya to ho se parliament enhyehyɛ fees ana charges obi be kubi sansemfo bi a e free adwumaku bi ho no ma e wo se utua na ba section 75 subsection 2 no kra e be yi inipaku bi any nsimfo aku bi e free sa fees and charges no mo now we read this section 75 now you get a clear sense we nyanti ase pefe say sa fees na obi tu anamon ekobi sansimfo e wo se wotua no enye nsimfo ano e na ye to ama no ne mum no bruni beka say the reproduction okay enti say my baby sa nsimfo bi afri adwumakuo honoma sa fik kuma na parliament ya to say wo se mitua no e for the reproduction say photocopy ya the paper ena be ye photocopy no ye the ink eno no ena parliament mi ntua bibi kakra ne mu nye nsimfo ano na me betua ho ka information ye nton ti ye nya sa enti ase no afi ma memra o question so RTI mra no se section 85 asia e ka se na emra bi wo hono a e kasafa right to information say obi right or also be to anamon akobi sansemfo bi ana sa amra no wo hono ansa na RTI amra yi ba sa amra no she RTI amra yi ase
she RTI ase
yes
okay
she sa RTI amra yi ase
je say RTI amra no abaye kese e ba no information say ye benya information no
yes
okay
se na amra bi wo hono mo a e kasafa say obi benya nsemfua and obi benya information ho a section 85 of RTI Act ne say RTI emre ya parliament e dia man sese no eno no yekese e chen samra no ti say wo fa no the other side so a the che ne say ene emra foforo so a aba emra RTI emre yi wo honum dada o mo so RTI emre yi eso chen
oh okay
that is what it means that's what it means ti say so obema me kwan a me kind section 85 ne nyina ya dwuma ye clear
sure
full section 85 na me put kakra say where an enactment in existence immediately before the coming into force of this act provides for the disclosure of information by a person or an authority, the disclosure of the information is subject to this act. To what you say, we no can emra e wo honoma e bia e can disclosure of information e can info was say ye di two edi Say ibi wo hono sa RTI amra yi ba ye no say be say RTI amra na se enti de kire nso so ne say RTI amra ya be say mra foforo bi eba e kasafa disclosure of information ho a say RTI amra yi nso so ase was once ya parliament pass the Right to Information Act no eno na ye di edi juma.
Okay.
Na emom no say na bibi wo emre bi wo no na ka right to information na ka access to information section 85 say RTI manage.
Inti wontumi emfa RTI emra no ento nchen. Na wonkofa political party act emfa nya adwuma.
Parliament asema omo kano no.
Omo kano no. Nti obi obeyese bi nche say eye illegal.
Parliament asema omo kano. Yes, parliament asema omo kano no. Na yen lawyer for no grade say emra mienu ewo ho na ye de toto ho na say ya akoye say ebo ebra ukokota lawyer for wo rules judges ehwe edi chirichirim ema yehu de wo say udi ne yonko so nti say wo hwa ye wo lawyers for ne tiem no we ye wo mrebi wo ho no mo ye fe no generalia specialibus non derogant de chire ne say ye wo mraporting a parliament ahyehyɛ if kasafa bibi ho sa na se ye wo ebra foforo nso wo ho no no kasafa general things ho okay sa mraporting no de e kasafa bibi porting ho no eno no ene wo say ye di ye adwuma ti ye ka about right to information. This is a special law that deals specifically with a specific right, which is right to information. So be of ahunde so kokubisa insimfa enti the Right to Information Act akano eno momo no na wo say eye adwuma say mra bi ene ne bo ebra but parliament na hye sa mra yi amaye ena parliament aka say obi kwa kubisa nsimfa bi a ya hye fees e wono Frederick Asiamah obobi so
nti eno no eye specific you fan say A4 sheet was it 38 pages?
Yes.
It's okay. Document at the money 100 if I say 100 pages. Into see multiply 38 pages no by 100
pages in the wutia.
Na wutia.
Yeah, and you will be na say obe boni trim. And also because say media memra na say ube bisa insimfu a e wo say me charge unti kofa say ebra. Eye bikuma binti mamen abna mamen enkama etie and senior Emrano Parliament edit to 2022.
Okay.
Oh, you read the budget year Parliament share fees and charges are was a public institutions the year Jumano. Na right to information dear T no honomo and you have no Act 1080.
Okay.
And no national binya right to information fees, you know. Parliament and share. It was say for every photocopy of an A4 size page or any part thereof 27 pesos.
27 pesos.
Photocopy A4. Nti say your information, you know, say your photocopy and now obey e dia many pana 27 pesos. There be say so call commercial people no hold my pro 27 or so 27 pesos and so. But nti adwen be neta sa enhyehyeye echi adwen techrin say parliament per se e dead pefe say information no yenton just for reproduction. Okay. Afi Oba was say for every printed copy of an A4 size page or part thereof held on a computer or in an electronic or machine readable form. Say na Frederick Asiamah. Their information no computer so. Enti ana ewo pen drive so. E was say yes scan na ye digu A4 sheets esomawa. Eno no 38 pesos. 38 pesos. If it was for a copy in a computer readable form on an external storage device, or the good pen drives on amount. This time you be a A4 sheet. Yeah. Or the good pen drives on amount. And no, 29 pesos. And Yamana Mishisha you Parliament and Ashisha.
Okay.
Say Rienfamo sa right information at echidom na obi who say we two and amono kwa kubisa nsimfo bi afi adwuma kubi hodoma we and was say ye de ye adwuma now the last one was for a transcription of visual images for an A4 size page or part thereof 1 CD 28 pesos Zen and Frederick Asiamah e bia a video recording bi and e be more A4 per A4 sheet no. See ye print ye A4 sheets wa 1 cedi 28 pesos. When is say ya parliament e dia to hamaye.
It's no Rebecca say bia in fact say 38 pesos times 200 pages.
Yes.
300 pages. A cost no was super. The okay kan is there a part I can say parliament am maximum amount will be to me to maximum.
There be on say so we use A4 sheet. A4 sheet because say we call say ye print am ye photocopy am the A4 sheet. The parliament actually say A4 sheet so near digu saying there was here. So the number of A4 sheets no na ye be boom kunta no amotua.
Okay.
Say in simfona okwa no 1000 pages a photocopy near yamawa. Parliament say photocopy ye A4 sheets so 27
pesos multiplied by the number of pages.
By the number of pages.
Okay.
The moment you say will be nebe boni trim. Aka say Yeshua nima okra Yeshua ube wuska tikoko fa sebra if you say yemra no say oba bibi sansimfo a say ene wo se wutua enye sa na Right to Information Act no ema yeti ase
enti de yabobo suyi at least 3 institutions ena jisa charges aba my attention na bibi sanso ba ede na mo beye
ye de yenti ase mu emra no say yemfanya adwuma no eno na yedi besi ginaye na emra na se no si ginaye na se obonyo so a utimi court utimi high court onti enkomo ne sha ase no na me ka se emra mienu bi o honum na se yes ebo abira ye be pie court na court nso so kwa emra o honum a atimuafo no igina so ede be ka asem no ne yehu de wo se edi nkunim iti yen de wo ba yenti ase emu no na American wa hanum as Right to Information Commission
na bi sise bi wo ba bi ese ensem trefo CSO because adwuma ye say Fred so koyen hihemu dia ba e your money interest or money na wo boa akwanya bi wo mai betumi nya waiver say okay or journalist adwuma na oye no eye Ghana nkoso ntie ne nka sa sika we kura wo tua no yen free ho na information money free waivers bi sa ho
say ye ka say the this year cost section 75 na so ka me can section 75 and no they can fees and charges okay
now can waiver ho asem
and okay I can't waiver for any pekubi any nsemfua bi what me can ho asem say bia me do be go through to cost section 75 2 na 75 1 no na ma parliament to me so mo fan hye sa amre ya charges parliament hye why any dey awie
okay
75 2 ni say say ye die parliament hye no eto nchen a sans enipeku anansa insimfua we ni de so obi tu anamoko bi sa eni kwan say ye giniska the edikan ye the reproduction of personal information of the applicant me adwuma wo Ghana Health Service and my apply to Ghana Health Service me am ho asem me am information about Ghana Health Service na me say me pa me pay so it is just a reproduction of me ankasa me personal information parliament say education me tua hwe untimi mfa sa fees and charges so mo hye 2023 emfa me and the also a reproduction of personal information of a person on behalf of on whose behalf an application is made. Ti abna minia no what to kwan where o ha no na ye adwuma e wo GBC into person me ko bi mi gina wanem na me ko bi sansemfo bi e ye wo ho asem
okay
udin mu na mi gina dia ko bi sa information
na me anso na masoma ho
ye wa no asoma me ye personal information parliament say ni kwan say
Yejuska.
The attraction the reproduction of information which is in the public interest. Nti ensem for no e bia aha emomu no no betimi abehya ase. Oh, sensemfo bi ho no ma in the public interest. Okay. Se ka public interest me show so obi abehya.
Ade ye hia ye nyina ye ni wom. Ye nyina ye party ne hu se beti sound mine no.
Yes. Tie bia se ensemfo se ensentrofo ebenya protection bia ebeye under C no. But subjective. Se ka say subjective a se ne emra ne da ho no no. Akoye se eni pakro na e wo so de mra ne ye adwuma se ne na dwen mu ye no e no de be ye adwuma.
Because anya specific.
Specific.
As to say okay, ya in general say information na open no ɛyɛ de bɛboa ɔman ni nyinaa ebia se corruption eka ho ebia yɛ se health wom anya specific
into we no adwumaku a wotu anamon akobisa ensimfua every omo no so mu na adwen mu no se woka se ensimfua ya me bebi say in the interest of the public o meka say ye no ya adwen so meka so mu no ya adwen de na bia o mbeji atum say eni kwan say wotua so meka say ye no nya adwen so beka say wo say wotua
me woni menya adwen so chirim de ntia de menya adwen
nti obechirim se wo so ne nya adwen ni ntina Right to Information Commission wo ho no
okay nti o se ba mo ho
yes obeba na yen so ye de sebe ye nyansa ne ya adwen atoto ho na de ya adwen ye no ye de atudwa ye de tudwa na se afenu ni nyina obi atrimu ntene na ekwa wo se omutim twa na mo ekokot
ni sa information kakra yi ye twa ho kwan saa
no enti but bibi say no ena ya enti ase parliament ehyehyemra ya yesan wo emra no embata ho bi o ho ma ye fe no li ti li no eba ebe kyerɛkyerɛ emra a parliament ahyehyemu ema yitimi de emra no eye adwuma ye ti ke bia nka bibi say no se li ya ye ho adwuma no ebetimi adomosiko kakra
ene wo se mo hyase pushima
so adomosiko kakra enti ebia ela no ba bekyerem say ebia for sa classes of information we so be bisa in the interest of the public enti send section 75 subsection 2C ekano edu kan say oni no mujiniska ela no bit me disadwuma no amayin afi the trust information that should have been provided within the stipulated time under this act. Say nsimfua na oni na tu anamon ebibisa no nsimfua na wo say nka ye dia tudwa emre bi wo ma na wo say nka ye dia tudwa because we be institutions ni bi wo no ma omo report oman kasa emre no kire say by this time e wo say mo dia tudwa and say by this time no man fan tudwa na mi tu anamon say mi bibisa emra ne se wuntimi nyimiska se wudi tudwa anke me tu anamon wudi emra ne so ene ka wodi tudwa sa emra na se start one anka woni ne ntu anamon amebisa ti no so parliament se wuji ne ska enyeye na mse wanyi wadwuma yentina ehun akohia se nipa ne etu anamon ebibisa the etwaso ye information to an applicant who is indigent we so de achinje ba bebre eno so ye very subjective indigent ye sebi obi a ne nsem ni bi
okay
sebi obi a ne nsem ni bi na ye friend indigent ti parliament say so obi a ne nsem ni bi sebi ohiani
sikani fie
otu anamon so obebisa nsemfu afri adwumaku bi ho no ma eni kwa so otu eska
won so mo fa journalist nche hobi yeniska
it was we do so ade to mi bi akohye adwumaku ni nsem the omu no omu besi gina yes
so you no discretion so was kana niska
bia na me be ma be park ji wa gon brabus bu
ese ye be dia bobo ya beba
ena me de me hu fin sa be me hu popra na me chelo wa te me ma ba me ba mi mu hwe mi ni bi section 75 to say wuji mi ska enye okay woni mbe ya adwen wo tempo mu no no se me hura tena mi ji wa go mu na me
okay
and no so ye the parliament aka the parliament aka na we no me kan wa say we no ne kan no akoye den kakra me kai say LI committee ye ho adwuma no this issue came up ye bobo hu we twafa ha no we atwafa we fa no we atwafa ha no is ehu gina ye no this year day
because how do you determine we was kana oniska
yes how do you
be my address ka beto my address fine to minister
yes Right to Information Commission ya research is bebre because em na no so share say ye research so ye try say ye nhwehwemu ye de toto aman bi no ho even Ghana how cry ampo no ye wo susudua bi o ma ye de etoto ensem bi ho e de identify inipeku bi say bi a we mu de o mu ye mobro afo we mu de bi no mu nsem so se wo ko leap program na sia o mu wo criteria omude decide omo entitled to livelihood empowerment against poverty ti yahwe no se susudua be ne da sa nhye na se a omudi hu se we ye mobowani a e was ye man sa embo ni bi yahwe legal aid for instance legal aid ukuli guide say me obi a me ye mmobrowa minti me mfa lawyer nti abama me lawyer umsusu osusu dua bi ho no nti ye kaka ye ni ye hwe these policies ne laws ne criteria ne ye hu se ba se e wosi ye can be fa we hu o airline mu a sen na ye beka no ama ye di ye adwuma emfa chinyije bi ama nti ye gusu ayi di sa adwuma no ye to aso ye information to a person with disability sabe yenua mu a omo ho atochema no
yeah
emrane se so tu anamon eba bibi sansimfo a untimi enyi niska meka me panyina no ho no first executive secretary no no ta kan yekọ national sensitization na yekọ bomra no de no kan udu ha no kan ti se we ensentro ni na se wo hwe na ukọ public interest na se na de achinje beba
e be ko indigent
sabe pe obi a
you disabled
yes what did edem de bi wonu kaka no gogo bi sama wo mutimi nyi niska
and your strategy
mama mapo
baba Fred what we Hassan
nti aha no mo mfa say di mu no and mama boss no
Fred the Steve council akani nyina no o ye convinced
in nchiremu no nchiremu last one no na na me bisa say na say me kisa information na on say BBT say corruption watch yeah adwuma pese yeah very clear say information yeah na ya obtain information in that case no okoka say information ya where so obi anya nie ana information wo wanya fi institution ho eno na dey sa difficulty ni ba but I think say mrana wachire mu no e muda ho pe eno na ma me san dwin ECD no ho na me ya because ECD no sa 9200 no mo purchase a report back be 250 cedis ena almost so mo kan say mo gina Political Parties Act no so but the only Political Parties Act no unlike even Office of the Registrar of Business Political Parties Act and set fee bia
oh okay
ne kan ya ne say o ba be information nipa ne may pay a fee determined by the commission and set minimum fee bia won it said ono akire mu no e bi 38% e bi 27% e bi 1 cedi
yeah
eno na nka ese omomo hwe so no mumma esi gina ese information a ye de ma ono ye photocopy na ye ne ye de ama entina ne say emra ne ma ho kwan se ye request information e betimi aka se ye per soft copy ana ye per hard copy enti basis na me request yes me se me per hard copy a eno so na obegina aka che me se o information na wo ho no hard copy na open this me photocopy na emra mu no photocopy ba ko bia 27 pesos ana bibi omo man chire mu sa yo mo ka na tra say political ya hwehwe Political Parties Act
ni ba bia
fee bia ya set
just odi brim woni so age osika keke
Mr. Oman refer to regulation be answer.
Oman refer to regulation be meeting
minimum that section of the Political Parties Act 2000 Act 574 section 21
2
yes eneka but say ebi o no ma emra no ebeka but emra no de akonye na to say edwumakuo no ebetimi age say sky emra oba bibi sansemfa no nti bia giso okọ omo regulation ase omo airline ase
at this point no once say about information ye be
say no ntina medical
ni nyina anya adwuma bi mu atia na de ye adwuma
ntina ye sha ase say we 2000 emra ye pass in 2000 section 85 na me kan na e dey the pefe parliament say na emra bi wo ho no mo ansa na ye pass right to information act nti enya sa anti ase
nti say 2022 RTI no abetna so whatever act whatever once say about information yebeje and who is to enforce such charges say be adwuma pepepe
such charges
when was your enforcement no
such charges say institutions no public institutions I make public institutions I mean the public institutions emran say bit me I private institutions so say no more define public institutions I make anya santi ase no emran public institution no there's a main two anamon ma wontimi mfa fees enye adwuma se mitu na mo bebisa nsemfu a na wo de sa fees ya parliament ahyehyɛ from 2022 ɛwɔ act 1080 ase na wo betimi de aye adwuma na mom se wo de ye adwuma na se me a me bebisa information no se mitrimu entene me ska wo se mintua no me no wo nya adwuna eno na akwenya wo ko se wo se me call right to information commission
okay
na me call lodge complaint na commission no ehwehwe mu no de asem no to bebia e wo se
nti cases ahena ma hwehwe mu ye related to such charges ebi aba Nsem ebi aba Nsem ekosi sen
ebi aba Nsem me kai say man kai kra no I think say one journalist mean kai media house kra no free as a application called YEA no up information we on since a COVID time no abetwa ska bi to hono say yemfama small medium size businesses no to compare the data omuka so metua be say was 12,000 okay was 12,000 omo no kra mpone de omo say omo de fees and charges no ena ye adwuma na pages na open no over 6,000 pages so mo yo mo calculation no sa na kosi ye no no say mintimi ntua ntimo mfa ngu pen drive so mfa
yes
ana mo mfa mi PDF omo say no information no enya available in PDF it is sad na inchinyu asho no
ntibo kan no nti ase bae
ye frɛ omo enu omo afanunu mienu no ekasai ema nti ase eye adwuma nti ase adwuma nti ye receive complaints but ye gusu a ye receive complaints utu anamoko na se ne Fred eko Electoral Commission oko Registrar of Companies oko Ghana Meteorological omu abo charges bia ne bonusu oba yibitu anamo
abama ye dia to animu ano no
mamefa we yen fanto ho
biti ho
2021 ani a share emra no implementation ase kra no ye first decision a ye twro ye no netia Miscellaneous Commission eno kra de na fees and charges act na parliament pass ye media foundation for West Africa omu journalist ba ko ene call Miscellaneous Commission ekukubisa nsimfua okubisa nsimfua mienu na nsimfua mienu na okubisa no emu ba ko ene chinyije ba ho mekaya no so wo pe information on sa excavators then time ye seize ye no na ope information on the earth moving equipment you receive any there esi now if it was also pay information on the number of mineral rights licenses you issue from 2012 to 2020 and imudo do government Minerals Commission a cancel e hono mo na de echinyije no e baaye na echinyije no e baaye was Minerals Commission can say okay some information ya wo pay mineral rights licenses are issue from 2012 to 2020 and in the year cancel no
yeah
e also be $2,000 omunyina so ne sen omunyina so ne say your Minerals and Mining Act no na any regulation na e can say so be bisa nsemfra bi a free mineral rights register ni mu because mineral rights register no Minerals and Mining Act no e create to wo regulation as here was nsemfra bi obi baby say free mineral rights register no mu no ba ku bia they say $500 eto mu ka say obi san nsemfra mienu or per mineral rights licenses are issue from 2012 to 2020 and you asemfra ba ku and na or per mududu a ya cancel ye twem
na mienu
to me $2,000 and unti na man about right to information commission
na da na tigana na mo ko charges in dollars e wo document
and no ye enti ye gina ya ye see ye no ye komra ni mu uma kasamra no ye domosuko and ye see gina ye say ya dwen mu no man kasa momra no momfa nya adwuma because ye hwe emra no pefe a enye obi ti say journalist enemra no eni esa no na emo no hwe emra na se mepoto kakra or say obi a obibisa information for mineral rights register for purposes of exploration reconnaissance near inti obi a obedi so no agudie hu dwuma obetu a wo pesa information no ono no benye ordinary journalist.
Okay.
See ehwehwe mu no ye ka kire mo say no, you have misapplied your own law. This is a journalist asking for information that can be retrieved from the mineral rights register. But you are not entitled to apply $500, no. Iti sana yina omuni anya adwen. Omuni anya adwen to omudi ekọ high court.
Ene kwesi
high court wo omudi nkugo. To omu san court for appeal. Court for appeal no yes omu Dwaso. Inti me kan dia bezuzi say bi ho no ma omu emra no aka regulations na account no so aka but send na mo apply no.
Okay. It
is clear say information na no open dey from mineral rights register no. But you ko mu no, this is a journalist. But who ko share emra the language used there, it is clear. O meje for purposes of exploration reconnaissance ni any year juma obi a o pe sa information no e dia be di efomagudie hu juma
mate council any friend my yentie we brene de kopa but my yentie we na respond mame na yenko yenim.
We wanted to help develop the law on the right to information and to compel a public body that had failed to collect records to do its job, to gather the accounts that it was supposed to gather from political parties and to make them available to the public. And we won. The EC published the list of which political parties had complied with their obligations to file audited accounts and which had not. But the part that matters for today's conversation is that looking back, what happened after we won was a warning sign. It was a harbinger of the very problems Corruption Watch, journalists and others in the media are running into right now. The first challenge was simply enforcing the judgment. It took several months after the court ruled in our favor for the EC to comply. We kept writing to them, we used back channels. At one point, we even considered threatening a second lawsuit. And then finally, they came back to us with a fee. I don't remember the exact amount, but I remember thinking even then that it was high. And what troubled me more was that the Electoral Commission could not justify the fee on any objective basis, whether that was the cost of paper, the time spent scanning and printing, or the fair market value of the work. There was no rational basis for that number. And when we finally received the documents, many of them were of poor quality. So this trend we are seeing now, exorbitant fees set with no real basis, the EC began that many years ago, and unfortunately it has continued, even after the Right to Information Act was passed, and even after that act set specific fees. These high charges defeat the entire purpose of the act, which is transparency, because they make information practically impossible to obtain for most Ghanaians who simply cannot afford these fees. At the time, CGM and I made a deliberate choice. Rather than going back to court to fight the fee, we paid it because we judged that challenging the fee would take several more months, cost us legal fees, and that it would be more important to get the data into the public's hands quickly and publish it. So we paid the fee and obtained the information.
Ezi weno eye Lolan Sagoe-Moses oye lawyer na ebano akuntabu nso a your mind kasa obi advocate or your mom kasa efa kuntabu hono and what shani experience also man proceed and court to near dear because a best coffee kabebre and the best so delay and na isi so no mo pay information on in channel want to me enye na so bi a kire say ya dadje ye nya ya de print ye ye papers a ye de ye and ye charge you say just say accountable no motena so
my memory wo holo mo I say now we by answer Right to Information Act
2018
I think I'm told the friend say 2018
okay
they say Right to Information Act no abano any can say EC Dwaso eye de omo ye no na so omo nyina so omo de man say time a omo spend ye any papers omo use ye enu ntino omo de boss a bobu bujana in Sobia.
Okay.
Section 75 na make 75 2 no. Ma men kind bibi or hormone.
Bonnet tell mama Ebraso.
Or see a fee or charge shall not be payable for over each nasia 2H no time spent by an information officer or information reviewing officer in examining whether the information requested is exempt information.
Okay, so almost my same adage no.
There be a parliament they won't mean charge no.
Okay.
It is omo ye Sadi 2018 say Right to Information Act aba. Omu ni say nyina so no say obi to na mo ba time omu de a retrieve information. What information e wo mo ho? E reproduction keke e na parliament e de ho charges aba. It omu ni nyina so bia so omu be koso a omu be yes adu obi obetu na mo akwa omu be bonus abo no. Oma Right to Information Commission ye betie na sem na ye de nyemegu akwam aka sene wo say ye ka no.
Mate me da say council Fred ye wie e de na obeka twato.
Ye be she Ghana fo nyina nkran say eba no fight against corruption ye nyina ye ka ho bi. Enti no obi bia say the lawyer kan ya no open information betimi akọ district assembly budget omo any projects omo ye could be information almost for bob wo bia into asuma bra RTI Commission. Na Mr. Steven or a very good person. Enti no oba on any team on benya on ho adaje.
That's nice. That's nice.
Ye show be an crime.
Yada masepa semoje vreva ye eti Steven Owusu a lawyer RTI Commission hona owo na Frederick Asiamah oye investigative journalist ya on corruption watch edijuma ora so ye born voice audio no Lolan Sagoe-Moses ono ye lawyer esanso ye accountability advocate na ote omo enkano
money, when I'm money, our money, when I'm money, our money, when I'm money, our money, when I'm money. Yeah, je suis arrivé. Qu'est-ce que la nation soit sur les Ghana? Arrêtez le babadage. C'est moi, le